All right. Okay. Well, welcome to our coaches meeting. It's the first of one is for September. We'll do these monthly, usually on the second Tuesday of the month, at 7 o'clock our time. I want to introduce you to Kathy and Paul and myself, Sarah. We're the three of us. It's been a long day. The three of us are your PDPs. So we're the ones that kind of are the invisible force that kind of helps puts all these events together for all the kids to participate at. And we are probably the person you guys will interface with for any random bits of information before we get you rolling into the rest of the season. Um, so yeah, that's all three of us. I don't know if I skipped the slide, but Paul, if you want to go to the next one. So today we're gonna go overview what is first Lego League, and then what's new for 2025. There we have something that is called the mid-season check-in that we'll talk about. Then our zones and regions that we're implementing, the tournament dates, how to register your students with your team, and then finally how to do event registration. All right, so just a gentle reminder, Kathy, Paul, and Sarah, myself, we are your program delivery partners. We're here to deliver California First Leg League to all of the kids in this area. We do want to let everyone know that we do work full-time jobs, so typically 9 to 5, probably 8 to 5. I work 7 to 4. 'Cause we all have different hours, but your core hours, we're usually at work. This is something we do on the side after hours to deliver this experience for our region. We love what we do, but just a reminder that we may not be able to get to your calls during the day. And so that's why you might see lots of emails and stuff sent during the night, in afternoon or evening hours. If you want to hit the next thing, another gentle reminder is that, oh, I guess it's not there. When you do email us, please include your team number. It'll make things go a lot faster, because then the next question will be, what's your team number? And so if we want to not have to go back and forth too much, memorize your team number because it's going to be your ID for the rest of the season and forever on forward when you guys keep coming back. So just let us know. And then if you have more than one team, please let us know which team you're talking about as well. So don't put all of your team numbers in there if you're talking about a specific team. That'll help us narrow down about 50% of the questions that do come back. But yeah, so let's go over the overview. So First Leg League is just a friendly competition. We do have a hard number of 10 students on each team. A minimum number is 2. And they pretty much go through the guidebook if that's what you want to do for the first year, or you can go your own way. Both ways are fine. And it's one of 3 divisions for first. And then there's a link on the bottom that's kind of has first YouTube welcome video. More than welcome to share it with your kids, or yourself if you want to see what first is all about, if this is your first season. And if you're returning, more than welcome to go see the new season video as well. Next slide. Okay, so this season is called Unearthed. It's archaeology inspired, and we use STEM skills and whatnot so that we can build the child to be a better, well-rounded human being. And to do that, we are divided equally into 4 parts: robot design, robot game, innovation project, and core values. I want to hit this very hard because you have to be well-rounded in all 4 in order to advance up through the system into our tournaments and eventually into championships. So we'll first hit on, if we go to the next slide, I think it's core values. So first core values is one of the first, no, one of the most important of our pieces of the pie. It's divided into 6 categories, and it essentially just is like the soft skills of a human. And so this is very important for us because if you are really, really smart and you don't know how to communicate this, what you're trying to say, you don't get very far. So not going to reiterate all of the core values, but this is we expect core values from the students, we expect core values from our volunteers, and we also expect core values from our coaches and the parents that they bring onto the event site. And we'll get into those what we expect from everyone in a different meeting. And then our next is innovation project. So this is the one we get most of the questions on because it's vague. It's vague for a reason. So, this year is about archaeology and how to find a problem that archaeologists face today and propose a solution for that. I've added a QR code that you can scan for season resources, and that'll kind of help you with some of the stuff. It is online, and we will be sending these slides out to you later, so you don't have to take pictures of everything. And then the next piece of the pie, it's going to be robot design. So this is not robot game. This is how the kids have designed their robot and how they've tested it, how they've incorporated changes, how they've figured out differences if half the team wants to do one thing and then the other half doesn't agree. How do they overcome that? And so do they do test trials and then, they pick the best one, or do they, have missions completed in a certain way? So this is just the how of the robot. And then the last piece of our pie is going to be a robot game. So this is just to show the end product of, cool, you've built a robot. Now show me what it can do. And so each game is has about, I think this year's 15 missions, and they're all archaeology inspired. And so it kind of like has different shapes and sizes and gimmicks with it. And it is a 2.5-minute match, and it's completely autonomous. So the kids kind of code, then they set up the robot and then press play, and then it goes. And so a little intimidating at first, but we're here to help you guide through and go through all of this stuff. All right, next slide. All right, so tournaments. So we have a judging panel that teams will present to. They present a robot game. No, sorry. They present a innovation project presentation, and that's about 5 minutes. And then there's some Q&A. And then they present a robot design presentation, and then there's some Q&A about that. And then there's some Q&A at the end that kind of brings it all together. And then there's a preparing for your first LEGO League event link in there. It's a YouTube video from first. It is a little bit old. It's from a couple of seasons ago, so you'll see a different logo, but it's pretty much the same. That part of it doesn't really change on how to prepare for an event because you still have to figure out your presentations, and then there's still a judging panel. There's also your games that will be played, and we have 1 practice match and then 3 robot matches afterwards, and they're spread out throughout the entire day. So you do need to be at these tournaments for like the entire day. And then award winners are determined by the scores from all 4 areas that I had just discussed. So just because you win the robot game and have the highest score doesn't necessarily mean you're going to advance if you're not well-rounded in the other 3 areas. And it does happen, unfortunately, sometimes. I'm going to hand it off to Kathy for AB 506. Oh, she's unmuted.
Sorry, I was muted.
No
Okay,
worries.
so as most of you have known, you've seen in my emails, the state of California requires anyone that is volunteering, working in a youth serving organization to be in compliance with AB 506. That means that you have done your live scan and that you've done your mandated reporting. For first, we have to have lead coach 1 and lead coach 2 must be done this year. Next year, any other coaches, parents, volunteers will all have to be done as well. So if you want to get them done now this year, it would be great. That way you're not running around next year trying to get them done. The great thing about first AB 506 is that it's a one and done. So unlike if you're a teacher and you have to do mandated reporter training every other year, in my case, I have to do it every year for multiple organizations. It's just a one and done. So you'll just do it and you'll be done as you progress through the programs. You'll be done. Every year it'll show up that you're in compliance on your dashboard. So if you have any questions, you can reach out to me. If you do not see it on your dashboard and you feel like you are in compliance, please do not reach out to myself or Paul or Sarah because we unfortunately cannot help you with it. The best thing to do is email safety@firstinspires.org, but please CC us on it. So if you're not getting a response, maybe we can bump into that too and help make sure that you get in compliance quickly or you get a response soon. So that's about all with that. It is all in the coaches folder, as I've said as well. There's a whole folder in there about AB 506. So great, thank you. You can go to the.
So we are doing a mid-season check-in this year. This is essentially a place for kids to come with their questions, to ask them from various judges, various refs that we have in the area that are able to attend. We're going to try to get some subject matter experts out. It is hard to find those. I guess we have to dig harder. And so we have them at 3 locations this year: Riverside, San Diego, and Los Angeles. Those are the addresses of where they're going to be held. So we understand that, some of you are in areas that may not be easy to get to one of these 3 areas. We will try to accommodate if you have questions in a different format. If not, it'd be great. You guys could make it a little road trip, bring the teams out. We do ask that you register so that we can anticipate the size of students that are attending, because one year we didn't and we had way more people than we thought we were going to have. So this just helps us keep an idea of how many teams to expect. And then registration does end on the 18th of September. It's not on here, but it will be when it gets into your coaches meeting. And the QR code to register is listed or shown in the top right corner. Oh, Paul, can you refresh your slide?
Sarah, can you reactivate the mid-season, the QR code for the mid-season check-in? It says it was deactivated.
Deactivated. Okay, I will fix that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's
There we go.
interesting. Never had that happen to me before.
I know.
I will fix the QR code for the registration. Paul, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So this year we are trying something new with our events. And what we have done is we have grouped our events into zones and regions. And the QTs, which you can see listed here, will all go to a specific regional. So for example, Region 1, which the regional will be at Ventura, but the QTs of Orcutt, Camarillo, West Ranch, and De Toledo will all feed into the Ventura Regional. And same thing. So there's 8 different regionals that will be hosted, and every regional will have about 3 to 4 QTs that will feed into it. And usually the ones with 4 QTs might have smaller number of participants at some of them. So it does balance out that the same number of teams will be going to a regional overall. And so you can look at that there when you register. So when you pick your QT, in essence, you are also picking your regional this year at the same time. And as we have on there, that right now we're sitting at about 608 teams. If that goes up, which we do expect it, we might have to add some more qualifiers or regionals. It could all change based on registration of numbers. And here are the dates for those, for the QTs. They will be November 1st, 2nd, 8th, and 9th. And you can see where they are, with majority of them happening on the 1st and the 8th. And then our regionals will be the 6th, 7th, and right now there's one on the 13th, but we're still waiting to hear about that one, but we'll let you know about that soon. So that's where the regionals will be. And then championships will be for teams that qualify out of the regional events, will be at Capistrano Valley High School again this year. They've been a great partner for us, and that'll be on January 18th. Okay, now the fun stuff comes. Every year, one of the things that we get asked and we have to go through is, how do you register your students for your team? Because when you go to your qualifying event, you are required, and it's actually your qualifier, your regional, championship, any event you go to, you're required to have a roster. And it is so much easier to do a electronic roster than it is to to get all the papers together and have to get all that dealt with. So this presentation on how to sign up was put together by one of our coaches in our region and shows you how to go through and register your team. Starts by going to firstinspires.org, which is your dashboard that you always have logged into. And you log in with your email address and your password. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find your team, and you're going to click on your team option, on contact options, which you can see is highlighted in red here. Once you click on that, you're going to get a drop down, and you're going to want to pick on manage contacts. Don't do the print team roster yet. You can't do that until you have actual kids in there. But once you click on that, you're going to go to youth members, and you're going to do express enrollment to manage invitations. And this is, I know my school has done this for a couple of years since it's been going, and it makes it so easy. We can either send this home on a flyer to the parents, or we actually call them in for a meeting, and we do it right there to help them. And we do it right at the end of our meeting. So as they're picking their kids up, we kind of say, take a picture of the QR code, which is coming up. With the express invitations, you will basically create a new invitation. And then you want to do it for youth team members. Type in a title, Unearthed Season Express Enrollment for Team 1, however you want to do that. Have an expiration date for it. And then you want to click Save. And then what'll happen is you'll get this on your list of express invitations, and you'll click on View. And View will give you a QR code. And you can now take that QR code, and you could copy the QR code. You can put it up on a screen in your wherever your room is. You could just copy the link. There's an invitation link that you could send out to all the parents as well. This way, when they do it, and I believe that's the next thing, is when they get it, this is what your parents will see. They'll scan the QR code, and the first thing that'll come up is this screen here. They'll choose their country. They'll agree to a few things here. They'll put their names in. And then there's a bunch of blue lines down here. They're going to have to open each one of those because each one has things in there. It has the consent and release form. It has the code of conduct, the privacy policy, terms of use, the YPP programs. And this is all the screens. As you open them, each one of these shows up. And they do it to fill in a few things. But as they fill them in, they do that. they'll hit submit at the end, and it'll go to your dashboard. And then you go back to that other screen and you could print your roster, and then on your roster, it will have all your kids listed with that wonderful green check mark that we look for when they come to an event that says they've all done their permission to be there. To learn more about this, you can click on the link. That link's not active, but you can just type that in, or you could email. If you're having problems, email customer support. Parents must fill out the consent and release form, and it must be electronically. This is another way they can do it electronically, but the express system has been the easiest way, and I think you will like the express system as you get through it. There are, like I said, there's other ways to register, and we've listed some of the other options here for you.
Just a reminder, don't wait until the night before or the week before your event to get your parents to register, because there's always a bunch of issues with making sure that their consent release form is signed electronically. So try to get those started if you have a parent info session, or if you have them come in on the weekends, or like Paul said, to pick up. Just try to get those done earlier than not, because technically they are supposed to have those done prior to even attending meetings. I'm not the police of that. I try to do this with my FRC team, but the earlier you can get it done, the easier it'll be for you as you're getting closer to your events.
And there is an option also if you have returning students or returning parents that already have an account with First Inspires. It's a little bit easier for them to go in and accept that and go through and enter their information in. All right. Next thing, and I know this is what everyone really wants to hear tonight and what a lot of you have been chomping at the bit for, so let's get into it. This year's event registration. We are using a new system this year. Please don't chastise me about the name. It just is what came up when the system was created. But this is the registration hub for that matter. When you do this, you will need to sign up for an account with the system. The reason for that is this will also allow it to send you an email if you have that account set up. Please use your email for Lead Coach 1 from your First Inspires dashboard. So know who your Lead Coach 1 is. And you do need to know that because the system will check that as well. But when you're doing this, keep it consistent. Use your email for Lead Coach 1. When you finally, it should send you a code to log in, and we'll give you a password. If it doesn't, we'll work on that. But it should. People I've tested this with, it has sent them emails with that code. When you do log in, the first screen you're going to come to is a tournament calendar. This is the events calendar. It will have all the events listed. They are listed by date. So here you have Saturday, November 1st. If you scroll down, you'll see all the events. You'll be able to see where the event is located. You'll be able to see the capacity. If it's close to capacity or not, if there's still room at an event, you will know all that ahead of time. If you scroll farther down, it will actually show you all the dates for the regional events and the championship event, but you can't register for those. You can only register for QTs, and those are the ones that will say registration open, and then click on register now. When you do that, oh, sorry, here's the regionals, but you can't register for those. It'll just tell you where they are. When you click on the registration, you will get a registration form. You'll begin the registration form by accepting the PII policy, and you'll enter in the billing contact information. This is helpful to us, especially if the person who's paying for the event is not Lead Coach 1, Lead Coach 2, because a lot of times it gets sent to us by their email address, and we need to be able to figure out who paid. So it helps to have their email address there and their names so we can follow along with that. If it's a company, put the company name, because We've had that quite a bit where I get a company name and we don't know who the person is. But having all this information will at least help us find them. It's helpful if it's a person's name, though. Then you will get to tournament selection. There's a drop-down box where you will select your tournament. All the tournaments are listed there. And then you could select the number of teams that you want to register. I believe you can do up to 6 teams on this. It might be 10, but I don't remember what number I set that at. You'll enter in your team number. You'll enter in your team name. We are not pulling team names from the dashboard anymore. You will enter in your team name here. If you need to change it, then you have to talk to your tournament director later on. But this is where you can enter your team name and how many team members between 2 and 10. It will not let you register more than 10 or less than 2. You will then enter the information for lead coach 1, the first name, last name, and the email address. This must match what's in the First Inspires dashboard. Same thing for lead coach 2. You'll need to enter it in so it matches the dashboard. Once you do that, important, I knew I had that on here. You must use the names and emails for lead coach 1 and lead coach 2 that match the dashboard. Otherwise, it will tell you that you don't exist and you can't register for an event. When you do that, if you put in everything and you put everything in, you may get an error message at the bottom. For example, it might say, your coaches are missing some of the required forms or training and cannot register at this time. The missing items are, for example, the California mandated reporting system. So it will tell you, are you missing your YPP? Are you missing your consent and release? Are you missing your live scan? Are you missing your mandated reporter? Then you have to go into your dashboard and find out. It's not going to tell you who's missing it. You have to look in the dashboard for lead coach 1 and lead coach 2 to find out who is missing it and get those done. The system will not allow you to register for an event until there basically are 8 compliances, 4 for each of the coaches. And those are the 4 that do that. If you have all 8 of your compliances done, then you will get a screen at the top of your screen. You will get registration submitted successfully. A confirmation email will be sent to the lead coaches. It'll actually be sent to lead coach 1, and it will look something like this. It will confirm your team number and what event you're going to. It will tell you how much you are paying for the event, and it will give you the options. It will tell you how to do Zelle or how to do PayPal. And the links are there. This is in an email, so if you accidentally close the window, it'll go to your email. Check your spam email just in case. It could go there. It could go to other emails, so just make sure you're checking those, but it does come to an email and tells you everything you need to know about that. And then please, for your understanding, this is a new system. There could be a bug in there too. We hope not. We have done some testing. It's tested well. But if there are, please email us and be patient. We will fix them as soon as possible. We'll get you the information. And also, as we said earlier, due to the new requirements, we cannot hold space at any event. So please get your requirements done as soon as you can. It's just going to be it's a first come, first served system. And we are now on to some Q&A. I know. So we are going to stop recording, I believe.
Yeah.
And